गिरिवरधारी। Okay. यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनातीरावनचारी। यमुनातीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज विहारी। गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनातीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज विहारी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 18, entitled The Battle Between Lord Boar and Hiranyaksha. Text number 4. Tvam na sapatnairabhavaya kimbrito. Tvam na sapatnairabhavaya kimbrito. Yo mayaya hantya suran parokshajit. Yo mayaya hantya suran parokshajit. Tvam yoga maya balamalpa paurusham. Tvam yoga maya balamalpa paurusham. Samsthapya mudha pramrje surichucha. Samsthapya mudha pramrje surichucha. Tvam na sapatnairabhavaya kimbrito. Yo mayaya hantya suran parokshajit. Tvam yoga maya balamalpa paurusham. Samsthapya mudha pramrje surichucha. Tvam na sapatnairabhavaya kimbrito. Yo mayaya hantya suran parokshajit. Tvam yoga maya balamalpa paurusham. Samsthapya mudha pramrje surichucha. त्वं न सपत्नैरभवाय किमृतो यो मायया हन्त्यसुरान् परोक्षजे त्वां योगमाया बलमल्पपौरुषम् संस्थाप्य मूढा प्रमृजे सुरिच्युच त्वं न सपत्नैरभवाय किमृतो यो मायया हन्त्यसुरान् परोक्षजे त्वां योगमाया बलमल्पपौरुषम् संस्थाप्य मूढा प्रमृजे सुरिच्युच. What to what meanings? Tvam, you, na, us, sapatnahe, by our enemies, abhavaya, for killing, kim, is it that, britaha, maintained, yah, he who, mayaya, by deception, hanti, kills, asuran, the demons, parokshajit, who conquered by remaining invisible, tvam, you, yogamaya balam, whose strength is bewildering power, alpapaurusham, whose power is meager, samsthapya, after killing, moodha, fool, pramrije, I shall wipe out, surit the grief of my kinsmen. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: You rascal, you have been nourished by our enemies to kill us, and you have killed some demons by remaining invisible. O fool, your power is only mystic. So today I shall enliven my kinsmen by killing you. Purport: The demon used the word abhavaya, which means for killing. Sridhar Swami comments that this killing means liberating, or in other words, killing the process of continued birth and death. The Lord kills the process of birth and death and keeps himself invisible. The activities of the Lord's internal potency are inconceivable, but by a slight exhibition of this potency, the Lord, by his grace, can deliver one from nescience. Shuchaha means miseries. The miseries of material existence can be extinguished by the Lord by his potential energy of internal Yogamaya. In the Upanishads, Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.8, it is stated, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. The Lord is invisible to the eyes of the common man, but his energies act in various ways. When demons are in adversity, they think that God is hiding himself and is working by his mystic potency. They think that if they can find God, they can kill him just by seeing him. Hiranyaksha thought that way, and he challenged the Lord. You have done tremendous harm to our community, taking the part of the demigods, and you have killed our kinsmen in so many ways, always keeping yourself hidden. Now I see you face to face, and I am not going to let you go. I shall kill you and save my kinsmen from your mystic misdeeds. Not only are demons always anxious to kill God with words and philosophy, but they think that if one is materially powerful, he can kill God with materially fatal weapons. Demons like Kamsa, Ravana, and Hiranyakashipu thought themselves powerful enough to kill even God. Demons cannot understand that God, by his multifarious potencies, can work so wonderfully. that he can be present everywhere and still remain in his eternal abode, Golok Vrindavan. मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So this context is being continued of the verse as well as the purport. So we see that in the verse the demon is addressing the Lord, that त्वं न सपत्नैर् अभवाय किं मृतो अभवाय. Abhavaya, bhava means to exist. That Sanskrit word, root word is there, bhava. So abhavaya means to stop or to cease existing. So yeah, so here the meaning given to abhavaya is killing. So that is addressing the Lord that you have killed our enemies, sorry, our relatives. And again, in the purport, we see that in the beginning, Prabhupada writes from Sridhar Swami's commentary. So we saw in the previous verse also that how actually the demon is speaking ill of the Lord or criticizing him. But Sridhar Swami has given a different view, completely opposite view as to how instead of instead of the words which the demon has used, Sridhar Swami is commenting that how the demon is indirectly actually glorifying the Lord. So that context was there in the previous verse and the verse previous to that also, Sridhar Swami's commentary. And in the present verse also that same context has been continued. So Sridhar Swami comments that although demon is saying that Lord has killed his relatives, the relatives of that demon of Hiranyaksha, but Sridhar Swami comments that Lord is actually not killing him, but actually he has liberated his relatives. So, or in other words, he has killed the process of continued birth and death. So this is one quality of the Supreme Lord. Hatari Gati Dhayaka. So one whom he kills, so he awards that person liberation, no matter. mm, Generally, Lord kills the demons only. Those who oppress his authority, or those who try to go against his uh, will and try to foolishly challenge him, as we are seeing in the case of this demon. And the same fate is going to be met by this demon also in the end of this chapter. By the end of this chapter, we'll read that how he met the Supreme Lord, how he received his mercy in the same way that his relatives had received in the form of death. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. So we see in the Bhagavatam everywhere so many demons were killed by the Supreme Lord and they were all awarded liberation. In the case of Shishupal, that famous incident is there when Lord killed him in that assembly of uh, of Yudhishthir Maharaj's Rajasuya Yagya, when he started insulting the Lord. So the Lord killed him very expertly without ensuring that the sacrificial arena doesn't get contaminated, and at the same time, it is described that that spark, that Shishupala. So he entered the body of the Supreme Lord. Basically, he received Sayujya Mukti. And the same thing was awarded to Putana also. The Supreme Lord killed Putana and he awarded her also liberation. The same destination, Prabhupada comments that the Lord gave him the same destination that he gave to his own mother Yashoda. So, like that. So, Sridhar Swami is commenting that how, although the demon is saying that you have been nourished by our enemies to kill us, and you have killed some demons by remaining invisible. But Sridhar Swami is contrary to that, giving his reflection in such a way that in a hidden way this demon is glorifying the Lord. Uh, Another accusation that this demon is putting on the Lord is that the Lord is the Lord only has mystic power. So obviously the Supreme Lord, he's Yogeshwara. He's the master of all mystic powers. So he has all mystic powers. But generally these demons, they have such mystic powers and they operate on the strength of these mystic powers. But the Supreme Lord has various multifarious potencies which work for him. So that point is being clarified here in the purport. So the Lord has inconceivable potencies. And Prabhupada has quoted that verse, Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Shruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Vala Kriyaja. Another point is that same context of killing that demon and liberating him. So liberating also means that to stop the miseries of material existence, stop the repetition of birth and death. So in the end of this verse, the word is used Surit Shuchaha. So the demon has told that he will clear the grief of his kinsmen, but Sridhar Swami is commenting that the grief of his kinsmen was killed by the Supreme Lords awarding them liberation. So again, repetition of birth and death is stopped uh, by the Supreme Lord's interference. So we see in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna comments, Janma Karma, Krishna says, Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Vetti Tattvataha Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti So Arjuna. And before that, in that 4.6, he says, Ajopi san avyatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakriti swam adhisthaya sambhavami atma maya. So I appear by my internal potency, and further he says that those who understand my birth and my activities, so they will not have to take birth again, not have to take this repeated birth, and not have to enter this cycle of repeated birth and death. So similarly, so to understand this point, these miseries of material existence will be ended only when one understands or only when understands the Supreme Lord in true detail, and understands his internal energy. And this is another action of his internal energy that so he kills the miseries of his devotees. So like that. So how how the Lord's energy is inconceivable, is not seen to the common man. Like this demon is accusing the Lord, or uh, he's, he's he's speaking ill or speaking to Lord in a deriding way, derogatory way. So in the purport, it is explained. Prabhupada is explaining that how the Lord's energies or his potencies work. It is not visible to the common man. So in the Bhagavad Gita, this point is discussed in various places. In the seventh chapter, Krishna explains about his energies, that how everything in this material world is acting because of his energies only, how everything is comprised of his own energies, of his internal and external energies. So, spirit and matter both are ultimately his own energies only. And the living entities who are conditioned, so they are his marginal potencies. So that point is discussed. Then again in the ninth chapter, Krishna says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastita. So by me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. Matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastita. Everyone is situated in me, but I am not in them. So this is some action of his inconceivable potency, that everything is situated in him, but he is not situated in them. So by him in his unmanifested form. So Srila Prabhupada explains in this purport that to understand Krishna's potency is not the activity or not the action of mundane senses. He quotes that Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grayam indriyai sevonmukhe jivadav swayameva sfuratyada. So by blunt material senses, one cannot understand the energy of the Supreme Lord. So by engaging with service mood, sevon mukhe jivvado, beginning with the tongue, so one can begin to understand how his energies are working. So generally, these Mayavadi philosophers, so they don't accept that the Supreme Lord has energies. They just say that ultimately Brahman is supreme and Brahman has transformed into everything that we see. Vivartavad is their philosophy. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the seventh chapter, so this point has been clearly refuted by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So he comments and he explains that how this commentary of Shankaracharya, Shariraka Bhasya, is faulty. So ultimately, it is not Brahman that has transformed, but it is ultimately the Supreme Lord's wonderful, inconceivable energy that, as a consequence of which, everything is happening in this material world or even in this creation. So generally, where they go wrong is that when they say that everything has transformed, Brahman has transformed into this material world, then again the same Brahman so comes into this material world and again gets covered by the Brahman. So this is, if Brahman is supreme and all powerful and Brahman is all that is, then how come Brahman gets covered by nescience? That point they cannot refute. So their philosophy goes wrong. This is the ultimate point. So the Vaishnava Siddhanta or the Bhagavata philosophy that uh, everything is a result of inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord, Shakti Parinamvad, is the proper understanding. So in this purport also to this ninth chapter, fourth verse of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says that one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. So matsthani sarva bhutani. So when Lord says that I am situated everywhere, so that does not mean that I have lost. Prabhupada is explaining that Krishna has lost or the Supreme has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere, everything is in me, but I am still aloof. So, like that. So, Prabhupada also gives the example that a king or a government represent or government head of the department. So, his power is manifested everywhere in the workings of the government or the department which he is heading. But ultimately, he is separate. He is not. He has not merged with his power. And ultimately, whatever is happening is ultimately happening by the power of that head or the power of the king only, although he may not be personally present. So in one sense it would not be wrong to say that king is present everywhere because the workings are being guided by his will or by his power, but at the same time he is personally not present there. So that way we can understand the activities of the Supreme also, that how through his energy he is operating uh, these wonderful happenings of this material world. which are even a mystery to those great scientists and researchers who give who have given generations of scientists have given their entire lives to understand the workings of this universe, but it's still a mystery to them that how it came into being, how it came into existence, and how things are going on. Somehow or other, they have fooled the common masses into believing or establishing that they are the authority in everything, just because they have some technology to show in their hand, which also works occasionally, which doesn't work all the time. And the whole world, especially the common mass, we see that everyone is illusioned or enamored by their teachings, and they take the scientists as authority, whereas their whereas they can't even answer the basic existential questions. What to speak of anything anything beyond this material realm. So even of this material realm, they can't answer the core existential questions. So basically, what they have to say is in in raw language, or it's not that it's baby talk what they are trying to do. So this is again the energy of the Supreme. Again in that section of Bhagavad Gita, ninth chapter, Krishna says, "Nacha matsthani bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram." So everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. So first he said that I am situated everywhere. That same point, uh, and yet it is not existing in me. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that everything in is resting on him should not be misunderstood. Matsthani sarvabhutani. The Lord is not directly concerned with the maintenance and sustenance of this material manifestation. So yeah, he is aloof from this. So Prabhupada gives the example of Atlas holding that picture of Atlas holding a big globe, and he seems to be very tired. So such an imagery is uh, not not to be entertained in connection with Krishna's upholding the entire universe. Now here we are discussing about Varaha incarnation, who is situated in the depth of the Garbhodaka ocean, and he seems that he is also holding this Brahmanda, this universal egg, on his giant tusks. So of course he is doing it effortlessly, and it is not that he has to be in that form and in that place only. It is his desire, his will, and his pastime to act in such a way that he is holding this universe. So it is not an a strenuous or effort or big endeavor for the Supreme Lord to take care of the happenings of this universe. So he does it very effortlessly by his potency. So that incident is there. So I believe Prabhupada also quoted it. Yeah, Prabhupada quoted it sometimes or spoke of it sometime. That one intelligent English or foreigner, Westerner. So he was traveling to India and visiting various temples. He saw somewhere Durga and somewhere uh, different demigods holding different weapons and taking up heavy tasks in a in a they are basically they are endeavoring or they are struggling to in their mood of fighting or killing the different demons. But when he came to the temple of Krishna, he saw that he is just simply blissfully holding his flute. And immediately he concluded that this should be the Supreme Lord, because the Supreme should not have any other tasks to perform. And Prabhupada commented that this is an intelligent conclusion. So, similarly, that same context here also, that it is not a big endeavor for the Supreme through his inconceivable potencies. Parasya Shakti Vidvidaiva Shruyate. He's managing the the happenings of this material world, or and even this entire creation, not only material world but spiritual world also. So everything, Krishna is the ashraya, or Krishna is the shelter of everything. So in 10.8 also, when Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate, Prabhupada has explained, means Prabhupada has translated it as, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. So everything is ultimately resting on his inconceivable potencies, and the material world is resting on his means he has engaged he has deployed his external energy, the Bahiranga or Mahamaya Shakti, to take care of the happenings of this material world, and all the happenings of his spiritual world are taken care by his internal potency or his Yoga Maya Shakti. So, like that. Mm. So these are again, they are inconceivable nature. Both of them have inconceivable nature. Inconceivably, these things are happening so wonderfully that Supreme Lord is aloof from them. So Prabhupada explains to this purport also. He is quoting from Nirukti Dictionary, Yujjate nena durghateshu kareshu. So heavy tasks, giant tasks which are inconceivable by ordinary people to perform, so are just taken care by these energies. So to operate a small to small establishment in this material world, so it takes a lot of endeavor on the part of even intelligent or powerful men. What to speak of handling something on the level of a big universe or even a small planet. So, but the mystic energy of the Supreme Lord is so powerful that it takes care of durghateshu karyeshu. So the scientists, they do their calculations, and they have established that the orbits in which these planets are rotating. So up to the position of, I don't know exactly, uh, but something to the power of 10 raised to 23 or 24. I mean to say minus 23 or 24. That means 0.000. So that much percent also, if there was a disturbance in these orbits, the planets would not stay in the orbit. So that means you can understand that how with how much precision these planets have been placed into their orbits and they are moving so wonderfully. So we can understand that this is the activity of the uh, inconceivable potency, Durghateshu Karyeshu, that it can perform such minute, such humongous tasks with such precise accuracy. So when in even in mechanical terms, when they operate big machineries, there would be some margin of error, which would be quite significant. Or just to speak of energy efficiency of some machines, they don't give much efficiency more than 70-80% when energy is transformed, when fuel is transformed into material energy in the vehicle. So energy efficiency is so less. But here we can see that how efficiently and how accurately things are working on. So this is the wonderful energy of the Supreme Lord, that it performs such great tasks. So then further, Lord is explaining, Yatha kasha sthito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matsthani ityupadaraya. So Krishna is again giving example that how you can understand my energy. So just as mighty wind is blowing everywhere, it is a huge thing. Wind, we can't contain wind through our material arrangements. But if it had to be contained somewhere, then again the sky is there. Again, it is the creation of Krishna's mystic power, or Krishna's potency. So it is inconceivable how material creation is resting in him, but we can understand through such examples. So similarly, all living entities are resting in me. Krishna is giving that example. So Prabhupada quotes in that purport from Brahma Samhita also, Yat Chakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja Yasyagnaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So under whose order this great sun is rotating in his orbit. So that personality is the Supreme Lord, like that Brahma is praying to him. So again, Krishna is explaining that how At the beginning of the creation, things are put into I mean to say, in Brahma's lifetime in this material world, in this particular Brahmanda. So things are set into motion by his energy. सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पदाव विसृजाम्यहम्. So again and again this creation happens, and again it's wound up. It's taken back into the energy or by Supreme Lord. So Krishna says, so by my potency I create them. So it is again actings of his mystic energy that this creation and annihilation is happening. And it is not a small cycle. Lifetime of a Brahma is uh, is huge. Even one day of Brahma is inconceivable to our our small understanding. So for 43 lakh 20,000 years is the cycle of one Chaturyuga, and such thousand cycles are there in just his one day. And similar duration is his night also. And such and he lives for such 100 years, 12 months into 30 days, and he lives for such 100 years. So much, for such a huge duration, the creation is taken care and maintained, and whatever is necessary is supplied by the energy of the Supreme Lord. So as he says as it is said in the Ishopanishad, Purnamada Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. So this universe is complete in itself, and whatever is required for the maintenance and existence of this universe is present in it. It is not to be externally provided. So it is such a perfect creation that everything is it is well equipped with whatever necessities it has. It's a self-sufficient creation. And in fact, not only that, so it also has sufficient requirements or whatever necessary for the realization of the complete whole. So that is also provided in it. I mean those living entities which are entrapped in this material sphere. So for them, the after understanding this energies of this supreme and understanding the entire Vedic teachings, the goal should be how he will get liberated from this material tabernacle and find the permanent destination. So whatever is required for that also is provided in this in this creation. We have the Vedic knowledge, Vedic Smriti, and we have bona fide association of Guru Sadhu Shastra. So it is so perfect and so complete. Something which one may not think of is also present. So and Prabhupada explains in comments in that purport that any sorts of incompletenesses which we experience in this material world are because of incomplete understanding of the complete whole. So like that, it has to be understood that there is no shortage in this material world. The only shortage is the lack of understanding of Krishna consciousness. Unfortunately, in the present time, we see that the modern education system, so it covers the intelligence of the living entities, of the conditioned innocent jivas. They are not innocent in one sense, but as part of the society, we see that they are innocent because they are indoctrinated into this right from their beginning, and they are taken away from this pristine path, and they are made to be engaged more and more. We were discussing that the goal should be liberation. Even this purport. So Sridhar Swami is explaining that how the Supreme Lord has his liberated the relatives of this demon. So even demons are receiving liberation. So unfortunately, in the present society, so this atheism in the garb of so-called uh, being nice to others and being moral or ethical. So it covers the intelligence, and people people go on existing with this with this foolish education. It makes people maya aparita jnana. It takes away their intelligence. They think that they are knowledgeable. They have received so much education. They have big degrees, PhDs, and everything, but they don't know the basics. They don't even have basic understanding of who they are. So this is going on. This is the unfortunate situation of the present education system, that it is covering people more and more. So one is supposed to become free from ignorance or nescience by understanding the philosophy of Krishna consciousness and coming in association with the devotees and a bona fide guru. However, this society is going on like this, and unfortunately, uh, so many fortunate jivas, they although they come in contact with this great movement, Krishna consciousness, but somehow they can't disconnect themselves fully from this society, and they also become victims, and they also suffer the consequences of the happenings of this broader world. So devotees should understand, especially they should understand Krishna consciousness as a whole. They should understand the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in its fullness, and then try to look for a proper alternative, that how they can actually come out from the vicious cycle of this present society, this present demonic society, so which is covering our intelligence more and more. Uh, yeah, we are discussing about the energies of the Supreme Lord, how it is inconceivable and how wonderfully it acts. So by Krishna's will, by his will, so he takes everything again back into his Mahavishnu, inhales all the universes back, and this is not just one universe which is there in the creation. There are so infinite universes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave that example, that how many mustard seeds are there in a bag of containing mustard seeds. It's uncountable. So similarly, there are innumerable universes, and Krishna, by his energy, he has ensured that all these independent complete units, they work independently without dependence on anything else, anything from outside. And again, through his wonderful potency, he takes care of its creation, maintenance, and annihilation. And again, whenever new creation has to be done according to the residual desires or karma of the conditioned living entities, they are again put into motion and they are again rewarded. Those kinds of uh, material bodies through which they can again continue their cycle of progressive existence, progressive evolution unto different species, not evolution of species. So, like that. Uh, and again, Krishna says, Nacha mam tani karmani nibadnanti dhananjaya udasina vadasinam asaktam teshu karmasu. So, all this work, again, it cannot bind me. I am always detached from these material activities. So again, it is explaining that how the Supreme Lord is always aloof, and to think that he is conditioned or uh, he is bound up by the happenings of this material world is atheistic and demonic, as some philosophers, as the Mayavadi philosophers, they think. So Krishna is always aloof. So he is not, when we say that he has not become one with the creation or one with his Brahman. So he has personal existence. He is always aloof. This point is again and again stressed in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the fourth chapter also, when Krishna says, so he is not bound up by the effects of karma. So 4.14, Krishna says, how it begins that verse. Yeah, namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha iti mam yo bhijanati karma virna sabadhyate. So what to speak of Krishna's being being conditioned by his by fruitive activities. Even somebody who understands that Krishna is not bound up by fruitive activities, he also becomes free from the reactions of fruitive work. So if if just by understanding that Krishna he doesn't get entangled, if one becomes free, then how is there any chance of Krishna's being entangled, or by being encumbered, or by being bound up by the activities of by the activities of this material world, or by any kind of fruitive activity. So then finally Krishna says, Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam Hetu Nanena Kaunteya Jagat Parivartate. So this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So Krishna has established that everything is working under his energies only, and all creation and annihilation is happening through his energies only. So he's like that unseen thread in the creation, as he mentions in the seventh chapter. So Mai Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Maniganaiva. Everything is resting on me and I am not visible. So his energies are there. That point of invisibility is mentioned in this verse. That demon is accusing the Lord. He's accusing Varahadev that you were always invisible, but now I have seen you. So he, so he is invisible in this way, that everything is resting on him. But those who can see him. Vimuda nanu pashyanti pashyati gnana chakshusha. So those who are foolish, they can't see, but those who have knowledge, they can understand. And sometimes it is pashyan na pashyati. Despite seeing, they don't see. So again, it is foolishness. So Krishna is mentioning that in the next verse of this section, that those who don't understand my energies, so avajananti mam muda manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. So those who are foolish, as in the case of this demon, Hiranyaksha, so he doesn't know that Supreme Lord is standing in front of him. So that Supreme Lord, who is the object of worship of his devotees, of his glorification, that same form which is glorified by his great devotees, is standing personally in front of him, uh, he's so foolish that he can't understand that Supreme Lord is standing in front of him. And what he thinks is that he is some kind of a mystic personality. So mystic power is not such a great thing. Anybody, uh, by some austerity and some penance and some engagement in the yogic process, one can attain mystic powers. So conditioned ordinary jivas can also attain lots of mystic potency, mystic siddhis. So there are those Ashtasiddhis, Anima, Lagima, Ishita, Avashita, Prakama, Prakamya. Those eight siddhis are there. So even ordinary living entities can attain all those eight of those mystic perfections, and wonderfully act in a way that people are so that it is a matter of astonishment for ordinary people in such a way. So, but the Supreme Lord is not like that. Everything is resting on him. He is the master of all mystic potencies, and all those big yogis. Ultimately, their destination is this Supreme Personality Himself, who is standing in front of this demon. So, dhyana avasthita tad gatena manasa pashyanti yam yogino. So, yogis, they ultimately, by their meditation, so their perfection is that they see this Vishnu Murti form situated in their hearts. So he is the object of, or he is the goal of all these mystic yogis. But foolish people don't understand him, as Krishna has already said here. Avajananti mam muda. So this demon is a case of this muda only, this category only, that he is not able to understand. And manushim tanum ashritam. Manushim means as ordinary living beings, ordinary humans can practice this mystic yogic process and attain these mystic powers. So similarly, he is also attributing the Lord to have those kinds of that kind of body and an ordinary material body and possessing those mystic powers only, nothing beyond that. So Param Bhavam Ajananto. So he doesn't know that he is the supreme personality. He doesn't know his supreme form. So how he is the Maheshwara or he is the supreme proprietor of everything. So that is not known to this demon. So because of such understanding or this conditionings, what conclusions these demons come into, that they can kill the supreme lord, as he is telling the supreme lord now here, that now I will kill you. So far you were not seen by us. Now that I have seen you, I will finish you. So this is another. Uh, they think that they can kill the supreme lord by fatal weapons. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that an ordinary living entity also can't be killed. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Yeah, by any kind of material, it can't be killed or destroyed. It is always existing. So this even a spark, and this living entity is a spark of that supreme Lord. So how can he be killed? He's a Sachidananda Vigraha, from whom these small infinitesimal parts and parcels have fragmented out and they are existing. So which are also having similar qualities. So even they can't be killed. Then how can the Supreme Lord be? Where is the question of the Supreme Lord being killed by materially fatal weapons? So this is gross ignorance. So these demons like Ravana, Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, so they thought that that Lord can be killed like that. And they didn't understand that when they saw the Supreme Lord in front of them, they thought that this is it. Or just by seeing the activities of his potency, which again we discussed that they don't understand. So they thought that they can just finish the Lord. But Lord is Golokayava Nivasati Akhilatma Bhutaha. So even if he is present here, he is at the same time present in so many other places. That famous incident of Narad Muni is there, and at the same time he is always there, eternally present in his Goloka realm, performing his pastimes. Again, under his inconceivable potency, an inconceivable internal potency, Yoga Maya Shakti, he is performing his different pastimes, his Leela in the spiritual world. So these demons, they can't understand these things. So like that, these are some thoughts on this verse. We can certainly discuss more. There are. Hmm. Oh, he only. Mhm.
to understand that there is inconceivability. Like Prabhupada gave, nails are growing, but still they are dead. We cut it. We don't feel pain. So this is inconceivable. Like that, everywhere we see the inconceivability. Generally, it is ascribed to some potency. People may appreciate it. They may ascribe that to some potency is there. But ultimately, it was like Prabhupada argued that when we say energy, force, whose energy? Ultimately, it was not. So inconceivability points to existence of God.
How it is, how you points. Now I understood what you said, but last point you said, it points that God exists, because that is a fundamental question.
So if there is inconceivability, there is some mystic potency working, right? To create that inconceivability
Okay.
everywhere. So then when we speak about potency, whose potency? There should be Shakti Man. Shakti is the source of Shakti.
So that inconceivable power is God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is one thing.
Can't we understand God without understanding inconceivability, bro?
That is also one thing. That is next point. Otherwise, there are so many misconceptions will come about God.
So,
One major delusion is whenever people try to understand God, he may be great, but he may be little greater than us or something. They don't understand that he is supreme, he is very inconceivably great. Therefore, his potencies has to be understood, inconceivable potencies. And in this purport that Srila Swami's purport, of course, there is some grammar there. So he is expressing how mitigating cycle of birth and death is a mystic